The European press never mentions the nationality of criminals, yet they keep pushing the multiculturalism agenda to the max. The verdicts of their judges are a slap in the face to common sense. All this media and government welcoming of guests into Europe is clearly sponsored. They are invaders, not guests. He's just being sarcastic. It's clearly sponsored by people of a certain religion and the fat wallets at their disposal. Is there any hope of waking up before all Europe goes green from end to end? And not only green, but black and other colors on its exterior as well. This is indeed a catastrophe and a great ordeal, the new invasion of Europe. What we are witnessing right now is the worst occupation in European history. Why so? The only comparison we can draw here is the fall of the Roman Empire, when it collapsed under the surge of barbarians. As you all know, the rising tide of barbarians against civilization was indeed a dreadful cataclysm, and yet it was not this cataclysmic, and I'll give you two reasons why. First, the barbarians of yore had no agenda of terror. However, the modern ones who have occupied Europe from Paris to Moscow, they do have such an ideology. And this is what makes them utterly incomparable to those of the Roman era. Those barbarians had no problems embracing new things. That's why they built themselves up. Second, there are indeed certain physiological, biological and aesthetic aspects. What is happening right now can only be interpreted as the deliberate replacement of the white population. Whites built European civilization. They invented electricity, cinema, every conceivable form of art known to man, modern technologies of every shape and form. They gave us the Constitution, the phrase and the concept of human rights, and every last term associated with governance, parliament, president, and so on. They invented airplanes, helicopters, cars, television, the internet and computers. They were all created by whites. Nowadays, leftists, in alliance with invaders and criminals, have one singular goal: to replace the whites, to wipe them out. They don't even bother to hide it. This malicious doctrine is worse than anything fascists have ever had, and we must fight it. And yet Europeans have grown overly relaxed and feather-bedded. They are too kind, too enervate to notice any problems at all. But when they will, it'll be too late. This isn't even a matter of sooner or later. They've simply gotten used to acting like ostriches. This April I visited Milan. It's a marvelous city, the great capital, founded back in the 6th century BC. This place has passed through many epochs, starting with the Romans and the Lombards. Milan thrived in medieval times, flourished during the Renaissance and witnessed General Bonaparte, later Napoleon the King. The Milan of the 19th century was the era of Verdi, in the 20th of the great Italian cinema. And what do we see nowadays? It's hard to even imagine, but every 50 yards in Milan, and this is a large city, so use your math skills to count the damage, is defaced with massive 3x3 foot posters, or sometimes even billboards. And every one of these posters contains, if I'm not mistaken, about 8 mugs, with 6 of them non-European. 2 whites and 6 colored ones, Africans and others. And right above them, you see this propagandist slogan saying, "We are Europe." This is a flat-out lie, because, at least for now, Europe is mostly white. This poster is lying to you because they are not Europe. Europe and European culture were created by whites and nobody but whites, and it remains so up to now. This is a historical, scientific and indisputable fact. This is a white continent. Thereof, the poster I mentioned, paid at the taxpayer's expense, serves to zombify, deceive and justify the ongoing substitution. I am fully convinced this must be classified as a form of psychological terrorism, because it's being used to undermine the very foundations of our civilization, culture, history and informational field. This is disinformation on an enormous scale. Europeans are being disinformed by leftists. They are being replaced. Their past, present and future are about to be lost. We must fight against it, and those who spread such disinformation must face imprisonment and pay for the damage they've done. Fakes like these must be suppressed. We must protect our civilization, we must protect the very existence of whites. Do you know why, through all these years, I've never once changed my stance on the need to protect the whites from petty squabbles, internecine wars, ancient grudges and misunderstandings? Because for centuries, and especially now, we're facing the endless horde, the rising tide of many dangerous creatures clawing at the edges of our continent. Some of them have crossed that border long ago. This must be the cornerstone of our policy, the only thing we should be concerned with. Nothing else matters. This is the crux of the matter, the very axis of our time.